to the live stream, the TAi Gaming. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call this the TAi Gaming live stream, where we just go live and do explore pyramids or whatever game is on at the corner. And also those two circles and let whatever come out just come on out. That's what JUSt TAi is. So that's what we're gonna do today. But first I wanna let the room fill up a bit. I'm running around, and also I wanna share the Discord link to on the chat, so that if y'all want to talk and call in and all that cool stuff, y'all can do so, and I'll figure out a way to make it all work once it gets to that point. Alright, so oh, look at all of this echo. At least it works. Okay, there we go. That's taken care of. Cool. Got Sinu popping. I don't think we played with him the other time. I'm gonna change the character this time while I'm buying for time. Who we going? They got Cleopatra. But I like playing with the little kids because it like got me thinking about exploring and stuff a little more. Oh, they gave me more characters than before. No, I'm definitely not being one of them niggas. Alright, let's be this guy. Let's just be the kid again. Oh, with the full head of hair. Okay. So now that's going about. With the tour that I chose today, and if y'all got any other ones that y'all see on here, just let me know which one y'all want to go to. But I think the one that I chose was one of the step pyramids, talking about the step pyramids. Inside those are step pyramids. That's the one I chose. So, and again, they got some awesome finks outside. It's being the divine form, the ultimate divine form here on Earth. Hey, what's good, Psych 55? What's good, Psych? About to explore this pyramid. See what they got to say about it. First, I'm just running around for a bit, but yeah, I'm gonna hop in there. Extract some information. Alright, let's go. Yeah, learn about Doja Step Pyramid, Imhotep's influence on the evolution of the pyramidal architecture.
Welcome to Inside JUSt's Step Pyramid.
Right, Imhotep. And I got the tablet here so I can be looking up some facts while we go along. Some other facts.
The architect of the Step Pyramid, Imhotep, was a man of great importance to Pharaoh JUSr and ancient Egyptians in general. The base of a statue of JUSr, discovered in 1926, celebrates Imhotep as a carpenter, sculptor, stonemaker, and chief of the seers. Little is known of Imhotep's day-to-day life. While he is credited for writing medical texts, it is for his role of architect that he is most famously known.
Writing medical texts. But yeah, the actual story plot of the game confuses it a bit, because they throw in their own story plot and their own extrapolations about what was going on along in that time. Like, it take place with Rome overtaking Cleopatra and things like that. And but they have some cool things about the pyramid having all these hieroglyphs that was shooting out into space like holograms and stuff. But overall, that's part of the main game. This part that I click on right here is a guided tour, and they said that they worked alongside Egyptologists when designing the game and developing the game as well. So all of these are like kinda to scale. All the buildings and everything are to scale, and they it's a whole different section of guided tour, different than the other game, and that's what I'm just exploring now, just to see what they got to say. It's like they do got the history down. I just be adding all the extra Grand Hancock and dimensional stuff to it, but they talk about the Ka, and it's really accurate.
From the design of the pyramid to the elements within the complex itself, Imhotep set out to create something that would immortalize his king.
Oh yeah, I've been enjoying it.
The step pyramid was made from stone blocks instead of mud brick. It was the first time Egyptians built a monument of that height.
During the storyline, I was dying a lot. But it was fun. It was worth it.
The funerary complex of Djoser remained famous throughout the centuries and millennia, and its great architect, Imhotep, was deified by ancient Egyptians during the late period.
Oh wow, I'm looking up because they talking about Imhotep and how he was the designer of these like primitive pyramids or whatever. And I'm looking it up and say 2,000 years after his death, like the whole 2,000 years, Imhotep's status had risen to that of a god of medicine and healing. He was eventually equated with Thoth, the god of architecture, mathematics, and medicine, and patron of scribes. Imhotep's cult had merged with that of his former tutelary god. But we was talking about Thoth a lot. In the last one, we was exploring the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx, and we got real into Atlantean culture and how Thoth probably came from Atlantis, and he came to Egypt, well the area that Egypt was in now that we call Egypt, and that was like an offshoot colony of Atlantis. It went deep. Y'all gotta check out that last one. I don't remember all the facts.
Palace built for Djoser, 11 wells were dug. Each went to a depth of 33 meters and connected with a horizontal gallery extending for about 20 meters. The first 5 galleries were intended for members of the royal family.
So they say. It's kind of dark in here. There we go. I'm like, yo, I should have a torch. Oh yeah, that's what I was supposed to be doing. Opening up the Discord thing. Hold on. Alright.
Passages lead underground and branch off in 3 directions to various magazine galleries. This vast underground space accommodated sections for storage and ceremonial offerings. One of the tunnels, starting on the east side of the pyramid, contained 40,000 stone vessels, many of them belonging to the king's ancestors.
Blue eyes and blonde hair. I mean, yeah, I got that right. Yeah, blue eyes and blonde hair. I don't know. I never looked up like the specifics of that. But hey, if that was their color, that was their color.
The burial chamber of Djoser is located at the bottom of a 28-meter deep central shaft. According to Egyptologist Jean-Philippe Lauer, the chamber was originally made from polished blocks of limestone, while its ceiling was decorated with
I'm gonna look into that though.
At some point, however, the limestone blocks were replaced entirely by pink granite blocks, leaving behind only fragments of limestone blocks decorated with stars.
Limestone blocks decorated with stars. Oh, it goes up.
At the foot of the chamber are many tunnels going in all directions. This maze of tunnels, galleries, and chambers stretches over 5 kilometers. There are a number of dead ends and false doors. They may have been intended for the afterlife, rather than to fool thieves.
Oh wow, yeah, I was looking up the stuff about Imhotep again. They were saying how Imhotep was a wizard and the first architect and physician known by name to written history. So he was the first architect and physician that they actually like recorded his name and stuff down. He was the son of Ptah. So he was the son of a god and his mom was a mortal, so to speak. Wait, did I skip a thing? They don't know that much about his life.
Or Menkaure, the Pyramid of Djoser does not have any extra openings dug out by thieves. There was no need for them. Because of the easy access into the tunnels and along the corridors, thieves had little trouble clearing out the temples once inside. It is unknown when the mummy of Djoser was stolen. All that remained was a left foot, found by French Egyptologist Jean-Philippe Lauer in 1934. This architect, who devoted his whole life to meticulously exploring the complex, believed it belonged to Djoser.
I know, I keep looking up random information on Imhotep because he's the one that supposedly built all of this, and it's saying Imhotep was together along with Amenhotep was the only mortal Egyptian that ever reached a position of full gods. So this article was saying, and it was something he said. He was even later worshipped by early Christians as one with Christ. The early Christians, it will be recalled, adopted to their use those pagan forms and persons who influenced them through the ages have women. So yeah. They just shaped it up. But who do they shape up? I don't know. Who do they shape them up into? And they just say not that much is known actually about his life. He was just some great wizard, and he was always the high priest of the sun god Ra. That's wild. Yo, it was something that I was getting into, but I want to finish watching the video and like really sit on the thoughts before I put it out there. But it was something from the, if y'all know about the Picatrix. The Picatrix is an old alchemical book. And it got a lot of cool things in there that can like unlock some things in your mind if you're like searching for some information. But overall, it was the part they was getting to about how it was certain religions that came out during certain ages of man, as far as we can go back nowadays, and each one was according to a religion. I mean, it was according to a planet of the time. And as far back as I can remember right now, they were saying Saturn, since Saturn was considered the farthest out planet because they didn't know about Uranus and Neptune at the time, it was associated with Judaism, since at the time, Judaism was considered like the oldest religion. Like the oldest religion and things. I guess for this new modern age of man that we in, if we had like 5 races of man, if you go down that road. But, and then they said after that though, it was something. Dang, and they were saying the sun, was why the Egyptian culture existed. They worshipped the celestial bodies from the sun. And then they saying it's going to be a new sect when the moon has its influence. Like I said, I want to look more into it. I'm just tying.
To imitate the reed matting that covered the walls and windows of his palace. The stone is carefully curved and painted to look like the rolled mats of open doorways and curtains.
They put so much detail to this underground part. Man, this look better than the subway in Philly.
There are 2 long rooms running side by side along a north-south axis. The south room has false doors separated by stone panels, while the north room is a corridor which allows access to side chambers. Nearby chambers originally housed the pharaoh's treasures.
Man, my day been alright. I took my daughter to school. I her nature school program, so I got a nice bike ride in. I take her on the bike. It's gonna rain around here for a while, so I'm getting used to these sunny days. It's gonna get hotter and hotter though.
Are made of fine limestone and carved with the king's name.
It really is a great day to be alive, to be able to breathe this air, as you say.
These reliefs show the king performing rituals and visiting divine sanctuaries for all eternity. Their interiors are additions made by the
awesome day
to add to the wonders of
make it even better now.
It is clear from the elaborate detail and scale of the complex that this funerary monument was a technological marvel of its time.
Oh, that's the door they recreated. Alright, that was that little tour. Not as extravagant as the other ones, but it was still cool. It was still cool. Hey, Rudy. Doggy Dog is back. You want to say hi real quick, Rudy? Want to say hi real quick? Say hi to the people. Say hi to the people. Hey. Hey, Rudy. Say hi without messing up the game. Alright. There you go. Want to say hi, Milo? I'm watching Milo for a week. He looked just like my dog, though, but skinnier. Hey, Milo. Hey, Milo. Hey, yeah, today's a good day. Today's a good day. Where's the remote control go? Yeah, they real chill. They real chill. I looked up when I found them. Pretty difficult, but it feels nice to be sober. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Sometimes when I'm really at it, I don't smoke until like the afternoon, and that whole day with the sun and stuff. Like I try to keep it up sometimes, like to get high with the moon, and go the day just running around and stuff like that. And the feeling is like I'm just so in the moment. I'm so captivated by the moment. I'm not daydreaming. I'm still kind of daydreaming, but not as much, not as intensely. So I'm a little more relaxed. So I know what you mean. But as for right now, I only have like a good 2-3 hours to myself. Let's get out of here. Oh gosh, this was longer than I thought. But no, I think as long as you stay busy and you like really doing something that you like doing, I think it's pretty simple. Something that you like doing that's physical too, for me at least. When I'm doing something physical, it's a lot easier. Or when I'm writing too, sometimes I like to just go at it. But let's go to another place real fast. I did all the Great Pyramids. Let's just see what this is about. Yo, in this part, when it freezes, like I keep mentioning, this look cool. Like this dimension that they throw you in, you can just keep looking down, it keeps going. What kind of stuff you write? Or are you just taking notes of things?
Welcome to an overview of the Giza necropolis. The Giza Plateau is located on the west bank of the Nile and was considered by ancient Egyptians as the domain of the dead. The pyramidal complexes found there were built over the span of 3 generations. during the reign of Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaura.
Oh, that's where we was yesterday at the Finks. That's nice. Like a kind of well, not really a vision board, but a in-vision board, an inner vision board. Where's the next checkpoint? Oh. Hey man, I'm always trying to. There we go.
The Giza area, now famous for its 3 pyramids, is part of a wider grouping of funerary complexes. Rulers from this period generally elected to be buried in the area. The focal point of the entire region was the city of Memphis, chosen as the capital of Egypt at the beginning of the Old Kingdom.
Yeah, we was in Memphis too. We was exploring parts of Memphis yesterday. And how when a king was, Pharaoh was sworn in, they always wanted to make sure that they was in Memphis when they was getting sworn in. It was something about that area. Just like they're saying something about this area, the Giza Plateau. It was considered the land of the dead. And I'm thinking about the ley lines around the earth and things, and how they say certain parts of the earth have a strong connection or energy and things. Like the dead to me just mean probably a stronger connection to another dimension, or a real lax connection, or you able to pass through easier, things could pass through easier, or you people from here, this dimension can pass on easier to the other side. Cause if you're on the other side, I think you can get here pretty easy. You just probably don't want to. Why would I go there? Unless you try and help somebody.
The placement of the Giza monuments, and particularly that of the pyramids, followed a practical yet strict alignment. First, they focused on cardinal points, and then they accounted for the natural geology of the plateau.
That's all I got for this tour? That was short. I think I'm going through all of them. Bent pyramid to far. All right, let's go. We're in the Sahara. Whoa, that is a weird pyramid. I knew it was bent, but not like that.
Pyramid failed. Sneferu transferred his residence and the official necropolis to Dashur. There he began construction on his second attempt at a funerary monument. The resulting structure, known as the Bent Pyramid, is the only one of its shape in Egypt.
The only one of its kind.
Though the pyramid also proved unstable and was abandoned, it marked a technical and architectural breakthrough. Heralding an important design transition, the Bent Pyramid displays a shift from the step pyramid to a functional smooth-sided pyramid.
But what we was talking about yesterday with the Atlantis thing is that we was theorizing that the pyramids at Giza was made before these step pyramids, and that they was trying to recreate what they had at Giza, because Thoth made the ones at Giza and things like that. Then they had to start all over and try to recreate the technology that they had before.
The pyramid was unique in having two separate entrances, one on the northern face and another on the western face. The chamber of this pyramid was too small for a human burial. It was probably meant for the burial of a statue designated to house the Ka, the vital spirit of the deceased king.
Or probably not the deceased king, but the king that was having a little ego death. going on. Go sit in the pyramid, or put a statue in there. Cause they said it's too small for a human burial. Probably just sit in there. So they built this whole thing. That's why I don't get why mainstream scientists tried to forever put in our brains that these pyramids were made for bodies to actually like be sitting in, like a funeral thing. Like, oh man, instead of putting them in the ground, these people are so important. We built this huge pyramid just to house one person in. But right here they say it was way too small for a person, and it could able to use. It was probably used to house the Ka of the pharaoh. And we looked into the Ka yesterday. That's the energizing force that enters your body and it allows it to be animated, and then it leaves your body too. It's very interesting. Some interesting stuff.
With the bent pyramid, architects successfully experimented with a completely new idea. To build the pyramid with a core of huge stones settled on a progressive horizontal design. This way, each construction phase could be completed in a single stage, allowing the architect complete control over every design element. Unfortunately, these precautions did not prevent sagging or cracks in the interior rooms of the pyramid. Sneferu abandoned the monument and began the construction of yet another pyramid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yo, don't that look like a face in the clouds? I see a face in the clouds. It's starting to drift away the more I think about it, though. Yeah, we were saying that they was trying to recreate the pyramids of Giza all over again, because one of the things that these pyramids, the step pyramids, they don't align to any stars in the sky. The one though, the step pyramid Dofur, that did align to the North Star when you went to the back of it, but the Giza, they align to like the math that's found in there is just way overboard this for like just to be coincidence. Like, oh yeah, I was just working it out and that it just turned out that way. We wanted to point at the Orion's belt. That always happens. I'm gonna go down. Yeah, Giza was really something crazy. Probably still is to some people that know how to use it. Use that technology that sneak in there. But somebody was saying they pay people. I mean, people pay to have parties in the pyramid. I was like, that's true. That's crazy. This is just the daily life. I want to see the fire. Are they cooking something? They tried to get the daily life aspect too, right? Like around the times that the Romans got there, at least. You see nobody flying around. So I did all the long tours. All of these are some quick ones. You should learn about the now. There's a lot of peas in there. There was a spider. Hey there, spider. You're really small. You can go that way. Yeah, I do imagine tripping in the pyramid. Going into the king, we was exploring the king's chamber and the queen's chamber in the last episode, and I was like, yo, imagine doing a psychedelic in here. They were showing the shafts that go straight up, that like no person is able to go up, but that shaft is aligned towards a certain star. Like, what if it was like really designed like that, so when you take the psychedelic, you was able to control where you was going, or have a sense of control, or the technology was controlling you. You was using the technology to control your destination or something like that. I remember Aleister Crowley. A huge fact about Aleister Crowley, who started a lot of the Hermeticism, occultism, and things like that. Like brought it into this new age. Led Zeppelin and Jimmy Page They liked him and things. There was a lot of people, a lot of behind the scenes stuff I want to get into, but he was a real he was a real guy that brought a lot of things. He had his own demons and stuff, whatever. But I get past that stuff. But he actually was tripping. He don't say he was tripping, but he said he did magical rituals at the Great Pyramids, and that's how he came up with that Book of the Law. That if you read it, it has that famous quote that every man and every woman is a star. And a lot of the things that's in that book is a lot of ideas that I got and that a lot of people around the world got from tripping. From not just tripping, but and having these psychedelic experiences. He went to the pyramids. He had his wife or his consort at the time, as they put it, and they did some rituals inside the pyramids, and that's how he came out with the Book of the Law. So if y'all look that up, that's it's called the Book of the Law. Liber, what Liber is it? Book of the Law. Because I don't like saying the Book of the Law, because it's like, what? Yeah, Liber al vel legis. I'll put it in the description. Well, in the comments real fast. But it'll be better though if you Ooh, let me move around. I don't have a YouTube app open on here. But yeah, I was reading a lot of his stuff, and he was the one. He opened me up to a lot of stuff. His books, not really his personality. Yeah, I'll put it on the. It's not coming up on there. I'll put it in the Discord. That'd probably be a little better. Book. All right. There it is. I want to get one. I want to find one that you can actually read, like not just an article talking about it. Let me run around. do 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 do. There we go. All right. Which way did he go? Which way did he go?
Welcome to Bringer of Life, the River Nile.
Oh, we in a boat.
The ancient Egyptians called the dark, fertile soil of the Nile the Black Lands.
Kemet.
The surrounding desert was referred to as the Red Lands.
Oh.
The dramatic difference of productive land opposed to barren desert had a deep
non-productive
influence on cultural ideology, mythology, and
productive.
religion.
It's like right on one side is like damn, and the other side is like oh. And they said it had a lot to do with the mythology and how things was constructed, which the land in front of us is the reflection of things above. So, not truth in there.
The Nile determined much of Egyptian civilization. For example, the seasonal cycle of the Nile was so consistent that ancient Egyptians created their calendar around it. The flood season, or Akhet, was when the departing floodwaters left arable soil for crops. It was followed by the growing and harvesting seasons, known as Peret and Shemin. Along with abundant wildlife and rich soil, meant that Egypt's denizens were able to nourish themselves in trade.
But yo, real fast, just to read a little bit from what Crowley was writing in there, because for some reason I just wanted to look it up. It's a had the manifestation of Newt, the unveiling of the company of heaven. Every man and every woman is a star. Every number is infinite. There is no difference. Help me, O warrior, lord of thieves, in my unveiling before the children of men. Be thou had it, my secret sin in my heart and my tongue. And then it goes into a lot of stuff like the cabs is in the coup, but the coup is in the cabs. But a little hint to that about what that was going on Astro Way. Man, thanks for all those tidbits yesterday. You put us on a whole nother journey with the Atlantean and Thoth connection. Try to get into something else today, whatever comes out. Right now I'm going into I found out this Aleister Crowley book, the Book of the Law thing. But when he said, if you ever get into this book and you read the cabs is in the coup, not the coup in the cabs, it was something about saying that the light does, the light is, dang it just went off of my head. But it has a lot to do with the light. Hold on, I'm gonna get that, because it was just in my head and then it was like, nah. And if you could find a book like this with commentary on the side, I like to read commentary when I read these books too, to see what other occultists was thinking about this. The coup. Yeah, the cab, according to Bulge, cab literally means star, while coup means spirit. Cabs is the secret light, or LVX. The coup is the magical entity of a man. Cabs means star. This star, or inmost light, is the original individual eternal essence. The coup is the magical garment which it weaves for itself, a form for its being beyond form, by use of which it can experience through self-consciousness. Here, cabs is referred to the individual eternal essence, which is described in every man and every woman is a star. Ku is referred to the magical entity of a man, his being, his consciousness, his sense of identity and separateness, by use of which it can experience through self-consciousness. This sense of identity is precisely what is normally meant by spirit or soul. Note that this is, however, the exact opposite of the normal placement of the soul, which is assumed to be the inner core. The Book of the Law, on the other hand, suggests that it is in fact the soul, which is the shell, and that there is some other individual essence, the cabs, inside that. And then I would read this last paragraph real quick. It says, it is necessary to dig a little deeper in order to understand this. Crowley talked at length in various planes about his 0 equals 2 equation, which illustrates in simple terms the basic Thelemic cosmogony. This rather idiosyncratic use of algebra is more easily understood when written 0 equals, they got all this stuff, 0 equals this. If y'all can see real quick. God dang it. PlayStation camera, you suck. But 0 equals blah, blah, blah. The two terms on the right hand of the equation cancel out each other. Yeah, that's just and I'll put the link to this in the Discord. Let me plug these headphones back in. Yeah, but I knew it was something else that I was trying to hint on when I was saying that the cabs is in the coup, not the coup in the cabs. And he was mentioning the stars and all that other stuff that I just went over. And he said, worshipped in the cabs, and behold, my light shed over you. Like the servants be few and secret. And then it just keeps going. He has this conversation with this entity this whole time. This whole conversation is something that he calls Aiwass. It was an entity that he was in contact with. He actually drew him out too. Alright. Let's go.
The River Nile, flowing from the south to the north, neatly traversed through both Upper and Lower Egypt. All of Egypt's major cities were built along this narrow ribbon of life. Protected by mountain ranges and deserts which acted as natural barriers to enemies, and sustained by the Nile's plants and wildlife, Egyptian civilization enjoyed economic and cultural prosperity for over 4,000 years.
Way more than that. But yeah, just the fact that they give it credit for 4,000 years means a lot. Look at America. We only been here in America for like 300 years. Well, how America is now for 300 years. And we already destroying everything. Our water, we can't drink our water no more. And they was able to keep their water clean for at least 4,000 years or more. We can't do 300. Our disconnect from nature is dramatic. How are we going to be able to survive? That's why they try to make this technology to make us go to other planets. They know Earth going. Well, let's not mess up the Earth.
Both
Still
ancient
hope.
Egyptians and ancient Greeks referred to the Nile as the river in their respective languages. Stretching a distance of over 6,700 kilometers, the Nile is one of the longest rivers in the world. It flows south to north, spanning 11 countries. The River Nile originates in the region of the Great Subequatorial Lakes, including one of the largest in the world, Lake Victoria near Tanzania.
God damn. That's huge. Alright, let's make it daytime. Unmount. They won't let me make it daytime? No. Okay. Oh yeah, they got alligators and hippos in here. When you're actually playing the game, they can't attack me now because I'm on like the Discovery Ghost mode. But they had to watch out for crocodiles on a daily. It was like Florida. That's why they respected them so much. And the alligators and all these animals still need to be respected. We just see them in such a different light. But then when we see these animals in the other dimensions, we like, yo, that meant something. They still, to me, they still mean something here too. They still doing something here. We just probably not aware of what they up to. Oh, they got me traveling for the next spot. Looks beautiful though. Let's not crash. Oh, they want me to buy it? I'm not buying that. One is on. There we go. Yo, it's another way. I'm gonna wait till I get through this. And I got another book that I would like suggest y'all look up.
The river flows through African equatorial forests, swamps, volcanic lands, steppes, and deserts, splitting
One
apart
star
for
is
a
out.
while and picking up various sediments from each region and carrying them all the way to Egypt. Its main artery, known as the White Nile, rejoins with the Blue Nile in Khartoum. This is where it weaves through rich deposits of silt and nutrients, carrying them along in its wake.
Interesting, interesting. Like this, how this whole culture did survive. Everybody need water. Unless you are an alien, though. I'm thinking about what is that? The movie Signs. All they had to do was throw a cup of water on the alien, and that's how they got rid of it. Well, I was getting into this other book, Liber Alph Vel CXI, the Book of Wisdom or Folly. And I like that title, Wisdom or Folly, because it don't say wisdom and folly. Because it's like showing that wisdom and folly is the same thing. And folly is like the fool, like which I just see as the soul, just doing things all willy-nilly and going at it. When wisdom you see is like that dragon serpent, like knowing like knowing the deal, like you've been there before. But it's a book that Crowley wrote called The Book of Wisdom or Folly, in the form of an epistle of 666, the great wild beast, to his son 777, being the Equinox, Volume 3, and they got all this other astronomical stuff going on. Like it even say when he finished it on September 23rd, 1961, EV 6:19 a.m., when the sun was 0 degrees and whatever that other symbol is right there. So I was getting into that too, like starting to write books, or when I write, think about what planets is in the sky and try to write it during a planetary hour. I ran across that a couple years ago too. Like some people like to write when Jupiter is in the sky, or in a learning, like deep learning or deep experience. But
South to the north,
I'm gonna get into it.
natural obstacles between the various sections of the river. The cataracts are long zones of about 100 kilometers, where the bubbling and rapidly swirling waters advance tumultuously amid enormous heaps of rocks and benches of hard stone.
Bench stone. Oh, and that's an old picture from 1887. How they saw it. That's how the game recreated it. And no, guys, too, I'm mostly using these games so I can go live. I don't have another way to go live right now because I don't have a computer. JUSt TAi. JUSt TAi. Well, a computer that's able to go on the internet at least. But hey, this all works out pretty fine and dandy. But yo, when I ran across this book, these books, it was before I was running into psychedelics or knew what psychedelics was. And just the mess, we was reading about, this guy wrote something about the emerald tablets and how it was certain priests that kept copies of the emerald tablets and they was written on certain kinds of stone. Thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm chilling. It's a chill day. It's a chill day. And he was saying how they have these, the emerald tablets written out on stones, the priest, so that they can go out and do their thing and still have their magical connections. But what I was saying was that when they read the emerald tablets, it interacted with your brain frequency, so you was able to get a certain picture out of it. Your brain waves was interacting with the tablets and the words and stuff like that. But for me, with the books that I was coming across, I was getting the same vibe. And I think that's why they say too, in the horror stories and horror movies and things, like, be careful what you read, because just by reading it, you can unlock demons in your life or spirits. Like I came across that in some occult books too, where they say, oh, don't read this kind of book because you're going to unlock stuff that you're not prepared for and things like that. And I really am seeing that the preparedness for it for me now has been just, hey, this is what I want to prepare myself for anyway. But it said I was getting massive downloads. Like you see from this book, it said it was Master Theron 66 to his magical son 777. I used to feel as though I was the magical son that he was talking to. So reading it from that point of view, I was taking in the downloads that he was presenting. And it wasn't like a Bible, like saying this is fact, this is this and this and this. But the way that he put it, it was really like he had a series of multiple trips and all these downloads and was able to do so much. Like one of the things he wrote was say, know, son, that the true principle of self-control is liberty. For we are born into a world which is in bondage to ideals. To them we are pre-force fitted, even as his enemies to the bed of blah blah blah. Each of us as he grows learns repression of himself and his true will. It is a lie, this folly against self. These words are written in the book of the law. So therefore these passions in ourselves, which we understand to be hindrances, are not part of our true will, but diseased appetites manifested in us through false early training. Thus the habits of savage tribes in such matters as love constrain that true love which is born in us, and by this constraint come ills of the body and mind. Either the force of repression carries it and creates neuroses and insanities, or the revolt against that force, breaking the force with violence, involves excesses and extravagances. All these things are disorders against nature. Now then, learn of me the testimony of history and literature as a great scroll of learning. But the volume of the soul is a man's skin, and it's ink of his heart's blood. There's a lot of poetry in there that you gotta like go through. Like, so when I'm reading, it seems like I'm reading a poem, but it's a lot in there. And then you start talking about learning the Kabbalah. It was one part where he was talking about dreams that was really interesting. That's why I clicked on this. Oh God, where am I going? It was mostly a lot too about relying on your true will and how our will's been perverted by the ideals around us. A lot of the stuff we run into now that we talk about. They really won't let me make it daytime. Alright, let's go here.
It is after crossing Nubia and the first cataract that the river officially returns to Egypt in Aswan. There are still 1,000 kilometers before it reaches Cairo and the Delta, bringing life to those living on its shores before it eventually empties into the Mediterranean Sea.
Oh, wow. Hey, what's going on, you well? I just ran across something that I want to talk about or tie on real second, because when I ran across this, I was still in Philadelphia, and I recorded this episode on my on a rooftop and it was wild because in that video, if you look at it, it was something that flew past the camera that I didn't see with my eyes when I was done making the video, but it was captured on camera, and that's why I put it out there. I didn't put it in the description and like say, oh, look out for this, look out for that, but I was just waiting for somebody to run across it and put it in the comments. But it was this thing that I was real passionate about reading. Like, looking at my past videos, I'd be like, what was I so passionate about? Why was I so hype? I say that all the time though. But yeah, I have read this before. I just want to read it again. It was saying, on the way of freedom, it say, do not think then but that by non-action thou... Wait, let me take these headphones off. It says, do not think then that by non-action thou dost follow the way of the Tao, for thy nature is action, and by hindering the discharge of thy potential, thou dost penetrate and aggregate the stress. If thou ease not nature, she will bring thee to disease. Free thereof every function of thy body and every other part of thee according to its true will. This also is most necessary, that thou discover that true will in every case. Like, make sure you're doing what you want to do in every single case. This is also most necessary that thou discover, for thou art born into dis-ease, where are many false and perverted wills, monstrous growths, parasites, vermin, and they adherent to thee by vice of heredity, or of environment, or of evil training, and all these things, the subtlest and most terrible, enemies without pity, destructive to thy will, menace and tyranny, even to thyself, are the ideas and standards of the slave gods, false religions, false ethics, and even false science. Yeah, non-action is the way, inner action to inner reaction. Wait, I dropped the remote somewhere. Oh no, I did. This right here. Yeah, so basically, yeah, that's what he was saying, that this world is crazy. That this world is crazy. But the way that he put it, like the living to the standards of the slave gods. Like most people like, yo, what do you mean slave gods and things? But if we creating all these gods and things, we enslaving ourselves is what that totally means. There's just so many levels of talking about this stuff. Oh, and I got all this stuff to say real fast. It was, wait, I found it to be true as well. When you have inner still, life seems to flow around you. Yeah. Like, I put it like, instead of thinking, oh, I gotta turn left or I gotta turn right, or even another level, am I going to turn left? Am I going to turn right? Or, oh, left looks good, right looks good. It's just, I'm moving right. I'm moving right. And in another circumstance, I'm just moving left. Like I'm standing still and life is just coming at me. I like that phrase though, when they be like, come at me, bruh, come at me. I like the will that's embodied in that statement, behind the aggression. Like, just come at me. Come at me, life. I ain't trying to muck up stuff that much anymore. Go, go, go.
Ancient Egyptian irrigation and water use was centered around the Nile. However, they also had access to streams and rivers, as well as several large lakes. The delta, situated at the north end of the Nile, also known as Lower Egypt, is a large irrigated area where the river splits into several tributaries.
I'm sorry, I've just been running through these books. What book is that? That's the book. It's called The Wisdom, The Book of Wisdom or Folly by Aleister Crowley. It's funny how everybody, even Crowley, still use words like thou and all of that, even though he knew multiple languages. That's what be turning people off. Thou hast... Hey, it's the times. That's why we here to write our own books, or just write some new books for as much as we know so far, at least, so other people can work on it and expand and stuff like that, and not be scared away from the thous. Yeah, because if I want to know the way of the Tao, I gotta learn too much. I already know how to tie. Oh, I did read the, I don't know if that's a question. Oh, yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if that's a question. Yeah, I've read the Emerald Tablets before. I read it a couple times. That used to be my thoughts, because I ain't know it's about psychedelics, so my own thoughts wasn't coming up with all these, like, trippy, paradoxal thoughts and everything, so that was my, those was my go-to.
The delta had several major brackish coastal ways, bodies of water separated from the sea by thin strips of land. A mix of deep to shallow waters, salt swamps, and sand plains, these lakes were refuge to a wealth of species, as well as water and land plants. The occasional bandit could also be found sheltering within the denser reeds, waiting for the unwary traveler.
Yes, give me a PDF real fast. Yeah, it's a lot of language in there. Like I said, the language barrier gap is always the first thing. I was saying Hermes at first. Got about 4 totes in. That's how I'm reading that. That's a lot. That's good. That's the level I want to get to. At first, I gotta like really get there first. Like, yeah, I know what this is. Did you see what was familiar about it? Hey there, hippo. Can't eat me now, because the game is not on. Yo, you know hippos kill more people than like almost all the other animals? Alright, there we go. But the tablet tuned to you? I forgot I was looking that up. Oh wow. Like that's just how grand. Why is always hallways? Like why do we got this consciousness like creating hallways so much? And at the end of that hallway come in, beans that'll be lords here. And they probably beans being lords of other places, that's why they knew that. Or they probably was lords a while ago and then they moved up from that rank. Where's the actual emerald tablets? Some private collector probably knew the significance of it before other people. Or a cult. It talks about a male being, but I it's like old trip story or trance translation. Yeah, it's not just what people like think it is, right? I'm just floating around. No, if this cuts off, I'm getting right back on. It's trying to say internet connection is currently not sufficient enough. Even though I didn't move it. That's why that last Kingdom Hearts thing was broken up into 5 pieces. But you said it was a no trip stand. I can't scroll back up on there. Oh, there we go. Microwave could knock you off Wi-Fi, same frequency. What up, though? What up, K-Eyes? We about to see this pyramids of the Middle Kingdom. We just tie in about the emerald tablets and about you trip seeing beings that would be lords here.
Pyramids of the Middle Kingdom.
They up there doing something. And there's something going on around here. I need to turn on this rock salt lamp. Knock out those wildfire. Well, no, that's probably going to... I don't know. Let's see what happens. Turn on this rock salt lamp. Right here. Oh, that phone died. But just to keep up with the story of what we all talking about, I just looked up the Emerald Tablets again. Just to like throw some things into this chat. Like it started off saying, it is true without untruth, certain and most true, that that which is below is like that which is on high, and that which is on high is like that which is below. By these things are made the miracles of the one thing, and all things are, and as all things are, and come from one by the meditation of one, so all things are born from this unique thing by adaptation. The sun is the father, the moon is the mother, the wind carries it to his stomach, the earth it nourishes, and it resuscitates.
The powerful rulers of the 12th dynasty.
I like that first part though. It's like that first part should like everybody should know by heart.
For example, Amenemhat I built a funerary complex in Lisht, and Senusret II selected
I sound like I heard that word.
site in the Fayum. Amenemhat II and Sesostris III, however, cast their favor towards Dashur. Amenemhat III built a pyramid there as well before moving to Hawara in the Fayum.
Now I'm looking it up now though about the Hall of Amanti. Say the halls of Amanti. Deep in the earth's heart lies the halls of Amanti. Far neath the islands of the sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. Far in the past time, lost in space-time, the children of light look down on the world, seeing the children of men in their bondage, bound by the force that came from beyond. Wow, bound by the force that came from beyond. Knew that only by freedom from bondage could man ever rise from the earth to the sun. Down they descended in created bodies, taking the semblance of men as their own. The masters of everything said after their forming, we are they who formed from the space dust, partaken of life and from the infinite all, living in the world as children of men, yet of men, like and yet unlike the children of men. Gotta keep it moving. You ever know if they were ever met? I ask cause it's a trip rim. Yeah, I know it's a trip rim. In my Bible book. Sounds cool. What if that hall is where you went to? That hall was where you went to, and these were some of the creatures, or what they say creatures here that wanted to. I don't know, they said they would be lords here, but that don't mean they didn't help at one point in time.
Tombs in troubled times prompted the architects of the Middle Kingdom to devise increasingly complicated means of security during construction. As such, while the architectural plans of the Hawara pyramid were simpler than the one at Dashur, the means used to protect it from looters were much more elaborate. Beyond the use of blind passages and concealed trapdoors, the architects relied on a system of stone slabs, which were slid into place at the end of construction. These massive stone slabs were meant to permanently block the passageways leading to the funerary chambers.
He said once you got in there, he wasn't getting out. Or whatever was in there was not getting out.
The kings of the 13th dynasty began building their pyramids at Mazguna, south of Dashur, then moved on to Fayum and Abydos. The kings of the 17th dynasty, however, satisfied themselves with crowning their cave tombs with small pyramids of raw brick. The kings of the 18th dynasty gave up the shape of the pyramid as a royal tomb entirely. They chose a mountain with a pyramidal shape in the Valley of Kings and dug their graves there.
Let's go, let's go.
It was not until the Nubian pharaohs of the 25th dynasty that kings were once again buried under pyramids.
That is a lot of little pyramids.
In fact, today, the area of ancient Nubia, modern Sudan, contains a record number of 220 known pyramids to Egypt's 138. Despite their slow decline in use and quality, pyramids continued to fascinate all and sundry up to the Roman era. They remain to this day a symbol of the religious dedication of the pharaohs and the grandeur of ancient Egypt.
Dang. So if we put the timeline of Giza actually being the first pyramids and then the step pyramids and stuff trying to recreate what was at Giza, and then now we see that these pyramids was supposed to be copying off what was made at the step pyramids, it just got worse and worse and worse. Like this with the Romans was this was their best job. It probably looked better back then, but still, that looks like crap. Peeking at you. That was a quick tour. Oh yeah, Zodiac in the body. Try some Egyptian on me. Hey, it's probably made from a different kind of plant and everything. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's probably made from a different kind of plant. Not from the same kind of cocoa leaves they got now. I remember Terrence McKenna talking about cocaine briefly. And he was saying that if people actually used it in a certain way, then you can actually get to some places. It's just that most of the people that be doing it for whatever reason, you know how it goes sometimes. That was the same cocoa leaf. Yeah, like they said, the setting, what they was actually doing with it took them to different places. What about overdosing? What about that profile? I don't know. Dying ain't a real thing anyway. They like, it worked. It really took me there. I just couldn't come back. Took me way far. Olmec trades. Olmec trading with the Egyptians. I was about to say the Silk Road, but that was China. That was China. Oh, I'm gonna do this in real life. I'll probably die though. Alright, let's go. Let's keep the stream alive. Did the Finks. Just to make sure I go through all of this. Or whatever ones are interesting. Yeah, I could see how it's probably easy to get. Fun fact: cocaine is less dangerous than alcohol. I know, it's probably not destroying your liver and all of that stuff. The Naga roads cross seas. I'm just going with all the inspiration thoughts that's coming to me. The Temple of Zeus. See what that is. Hey, what's going on, Biddy Tube? We getting all up in there. Alright. Here we go. I like how they just form reality like that. Like that sky was just not there. It was just a whole grid. Everything was all gridded out. Alright, let's see about this Temple of Zeus right quick. God of Thunder.
Facing east towards the rising sun stands the temple dedicated to the cult of Zeus. It was built sometime in the 5th century BCE. 70 meters long with 46 Doric-style columns, the imposing structure was the largest Greek temple erected in Africa. It was only slightly larger than the Parthenon and the Temple of Zeus in Olympia.
Now you start taking the lion's mane. 2 weeks, felt your brain felt weak. Man, yeah, I remember you saying you was feeling some benefits off of it. Like this, it's not just a belief. Well, it's more than a belief now. It actually has a working now.
The exterior was designed with the decorative elements common to Doric.
Once the money start coming, I'm gonna be into all of that.
The dimensions of the columns were different, giving visitors
physically
an impression of uniqueness when viewing each facade.
Does it like help with your memory? Like you're able to recall things a lot more simpler? Or just like your ease of mind? Or like the processing power. I think you probably mean processing power to process a lot of things. Like how you used to at a higher level. And then you probably feel like, oh, I'm just a lonely human. My brain not working.
During the Jewish rebellion, Emperor Hadrian had it reconstructed. He chose not to rebuild the outer portico, but did restore the new Corinthian columns in marble. The temple was later completed under Marcus Aurelius.
So that's a bigger statue of Zeus. Clear bearing fall.
Augustus, a faithful but smaller imitation of the Olympian Zeus was used to be worshipped. Hadrian then installed a new 12-meter-high statue matching the Zeus in Olympia. It was made of chiseled marble, with the head, arms, and feet carved in the round.
Cool. And here go the last part.
Archaeologists confirmed that there was a monumental statue of Zeus in this temple, though experts remain divided on whether it was one of Zeus or one more specific to the cult of Zeus Ammon. The team elected to place a statue of Zeus Ammon in this location, knowing that Cyrene was central to the spread of this cult in the Greek Mediterranean area.
It says Zeus Ammon? Never heard of that. Wait, somebody that got a website, Alexander the Great and the Secrets of Zeus Ammon. What does he got to say? And they got the same thing, cause you see Zeus has the thing right there. Zeus was Ethiopian. In a few stories. Yeah. I never heard that, but I was looking at the horns. And that's because it's the Zeus Ammon, the Ammonin, as they said, not the regular old Thunderbolt Zeus. And it's the one they decided to put in here. And it says Alexander's relationship with the ancient deity known as Zeus Ammonin is one of the greatest mysteries of life. First of all, who's Zeus Ammonin? Zeus was considered the ruler of the Olympian gods in ancient... Oh, wait, hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Jamina. She'll be okay. Oh, the reason why this one is in Egypt, because this game take place around the time when Rome was conquering Egypt, like when the last pharaoh Cleopatra was there. Yeah, I'm still in Egypt. I had to make sure things was going right with the house for a second. But what I was reading about Zeus. Yeah, Zeus was considered the ruler of the Olympian gods in ancient Greece and Macedon. Ammon, called Ammonon in Greece, was the parallel king of the gods in the religion of ancient Egypt. Unlike many religions, the religion of ancient Greece was capable of incorporating foreign deities into their belief system. A god can take on different forms depending on the place and circumstances. By Alexander's time, Zeus Ammonon was a well-known deity in Greece, basically a hybrid of these two chief gods. Oh, of Ammon and Zeus. Oh. The hybrid god called Zeus Ammonon had an oracle who was located deep in the Liberian desert, a few miles from Memphis. An oracle was a person that was able to be connected with the deities and able to get a channeler. He has hands on Jesus. Wait, he has hand on Jesus, the lamb head. Look, I'm running this. Oh, cool. Alright, so this was just Greek just taking more of Egyptian culture. That's a whole thing on here. Of Alexander thinking that he was the son of Ammon Zeus. And that's why it was his right to conquer the world. This goes deep. Nice temple though. Alright. Yeah, that's what they go over in this game. If I was to ever play out the story plot, I'll put it on extra easy, since I'll be live. But they go over that. Like you see the citizens going on and stuff. They show the Romans interacting with the citizens, trying to convince the people on a lower level that this is a good thing, and then they got stuff on a higher level. It caused issues. And what did they go do? They done went and told. Yeah, I think that's all the cool things in this game. Your glasses? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, and like I looked and I was like,
He was knocked out. Yeah, he was. God. The religion's fine. Under the Great Pyramids is a path to end story you find by laying in the chamber. Ancient Egypt had no word for religion or faith in their culture. It just was what it was what it was. Everybody was using spells to heal themselves, not pills. Chamber.
Welcome to the Red Pyramid of Dashur.
1248. The Law Pyramid. I'm trying to look up for y'all that story that I was saying. May 7 voting ends on Colorado orders 301. Yes, we're gonna see what happened with that. Thanks for that.
The Red Pyramid was built 2 kilometers.
We need them.
north of the
I wish I could press pause on them talking.
It was so named due to the reddish limestone used in its construction. The Red Pyramid reached a height of 105 meters. While the ground level of the Red Pyramid is lower than that of the Bent Pyramid, its height is virtually the same. The task of making the pyramid a geometrical, true flat-face pyramid brought about yet another new design concept, the use of casing blocks.
Casing blocks. But yeah, orders 301. Man, you know how it go. I hope it goes through. But the one thing I didn't mention in that last video is that somebody gotta be making some money off of it, I think, before it's gonna really take off. There's only one company right now I know of, it's Compass, but they're not located in America, that is supplying psilocybin to doctors and scientists so that they can do the studies and things instead of having to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in order to get it the other way. Well, and out of their own pocket in order to get the papers right, in order to pay for psilocybin and stuff. In order for a doctor or a therapist to like legally test and publish a paper on working with the medicine, they had to pay like $2,000 a gram of psilocybin just to do a test with it. And nobody got money like that. We can do 5 grams as a $5,000 trip. It's polished white casing. White casing stone. Yeah, that's what they was mentioning.
The descending corridor of the pyramid, which opens to the north, arrives at ground level, where 2 almost identical spectacular chambers with high ceilings are aligned north to south and connected by a short horizontal passage. In the south wall of the second chamber, accessed by a staircase, another corridor leads to the final chamber, which is built within the masonry of the pyramid itself and aligned east to west.
They use pure chemicals. You only take. Yeah, I didn't know how to put it into milligrams and stuff. I was just extrapolating with the grams. But yeah, it's really expensive. Really expensive. He says not much, it's lab made. It's probably 4 ACMO. Because because I can see, because they want to control the portions, because it got disproportionate amounts of psilocybin distributed in like one mushroom compared to one mushroom, even if they the same size from the same batch. So yeah, he's right about that.
The annexes of the Red Pyramid consist of a small funerary temple located to the east. A causeway presumably ran due east from the temple, but it has yet to be excavated.
Yet to be excavated. So much history is literally, like literally not uncovered. It's literally, yeah, it's literally not uncovered. Bang, last part.
The Red Pyramid was structurally sound, and once finished, marked a remarkable design milestone. Finally successful in his attempts to build himself a suitable funerary monument, Sneferu knew his future beyond death was assured.
I know, what if they was, since they was controlling, if they was using these pyramids to do trips and go out of body and come back and still live, they was preparing themselves so when they did finally die, they knew something, That's the best I could put it now. They knew something. Like the monks that say that they're able to, the monks is able to guide a person that just died through certain realms after they pass on because they're aware of the realms that they're going to go through and the certain questions or something they're going to be asked or something like that. I have to look into that again. But it's something about the monks being able to help you guide a person that just died. There's whatever, soul, spirit. Yeah, full recall on rebirth. Like, oh, I was just here. Yeah, I think like you said, it's kind of like that. He said, fast tons under forest, earth, and water giant temples of Naga age. Water giant temples. Giant temples made of water? That would be dope. But what I was hitting to earlier, when I was talking about the Book of the Law and all this Thelma things and going on, and Aleister Crowley, and how Thelma was started because he started his own sect off of the Golden Dawn, which was a big like the Freemasons, like how we would say today. It was like that, like how we look at them. And he worked with the Golden Dawn, and he made his own sect called Thelma, and he made that after going to Cairo, Egypt, in 1904. And it was written in the book, he said, was written in 3 days, and Crowley claims that the author was an entity named Aiwas, whom he later identified as his own holy guardian angel. And that's what that term got to me a lot when I first didn't do psychedelics, but I was getting into alchemy and stuff. Like, they always said that was the ultimate goal of the alchemist, was not just the philosopher's stone, but having, underwater. Giant underwater temples. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. It just popped up on here if you've been wrote that. I should have it up on here. Pop up more recently on the tablet. But a conversation with your holy guardian angel. That was always considered like the ultimate goal to alchemists. And I was like, yo, that's what I want. And I was hearing stories about Aleister Crowley was really the only ones I heard though that said it was extraterrestrial when I kept going at it, like reading more in depth. Having a jinn or a daemon. Yeah, having a Pokemon. But that was always my goal, to have a conversation. And for many reasons and many parts of my life, I can say that goal was like really there. I don't have a name for it, but that conversation is there. But I always wanted to obtain that. And it was all these steps that they would give you about going through meditation, learning breathing techniques, learning all these alchemical symbols, and actually having the experience as well. They ain't just lead way to like a religion, trying to just force stuff down your brain and say, yeah, this is it. It dealt with a lot of pushing you to do things for yourself. And but Crowley, before I get into my own story, Crowley, he ran into this entity named Aiwas, and he actually drew him out. Let me see if they got a... Let me see if I get a picture of him. Aiwas, Crowley. There he goes. This was the entity that he said communicated to him while he was in Cairo, Egypt. There's this little sketch of it. It's pretty cool. Pocket monster. Monster equals impossible. It equals impossible creature. Like, how did he fit inside of that ball? But yeah, as his own. He said the teachings within this small book are clearly expressing the law of Thelma, expressed by these two phrases: "Do what thou wilt" shall be the whole law. Love is the law. Love under will. Interpretation of this book is for the matter of the individual, and openly promoting personal ideas. Yeah, openly promoting personal ideas about its meaning is strongly blah blah blah. Although Crowley, I'm like trying to do 5 things. Although Crowley expressed the desire to see the law of Thelma promulgated in all society, blah 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 blah. I just wanted to get into how he was in the pyramids. I thought they wrote that in here. It said, according to Crowley, the story begins on March 16, 1904, when he tries to soothe the Scythes by means of a ritual to his wife Rose. Although she could see nothing, she did seem to enter into a light trance and repeatedly said, "They're waiting for you." Since Rose had no interest in magic with a K or mysticism, he took little interest. However, on the 18th, after invoking Thoth, the god of knowledge, she mentions Horus by name as the one waiting for him. Crowley, still skeptical, asks her numerous questions about Horus, which she answers accurately, without having any prior study of the subject. The final proof was Rose's identification of Horus in the Stella of Reveal, and that's like a whole thing to look into too. Angels of Light was the pocket balls. It matrix of mirror like and trips the mind mirrors. I know, that's why Pokemon, you gotta treat them right. You gotta treat the Pokemon right. Angels of Light was the Pokeballs. That's cool. And it say on March 20th, Crowley invokes Horus with great success. Between March 23rd and April 8th, Crowley has the hieroglyphs of the stele translated. Also, Rose reveals that her informant was not Horus himself, but his messenger, Aiwass. It's just something to get into. Something to look into. JUSt TAi, guys, JUSt TAi. Same, different body, same thoughts. But hey, the text pop up so weird on this thing. Let me look it up on the tablet. Alright, that's better. Another quick fact, in ancient Egyptian culture is no god of. Instead, the gods are multiple, associated with different attributes like love, knowledge. Many gods take on many roles. That's how I see it. Yeah, that's how I look at it as well. And that's how they seen it. Like, that's why I still got the god of love, the god of hate, the god of anger. And then you conquer those in yourself, but they all just attributes, the Netaru. You just dump in whatever you got. Dump in whatever you know, guys. It says there, the astro, the Netaru forces of nature.
With the long reign of Sneferu, the first
Who's
king of the
Ryu?
dynasty,
Uh-huh.
the most brilliant and creative period began for the construction of funerary monuments.
I was thinking that. I was thinking Street Fighter.
Funerary monument design moved from the step pyramid to the smooth-faced pyramid, testament to the evolution of the practices of construction. The first attempt at this design,
Yeah, I thought Street Fighter.
of Meidum. While Sneferu's monument started as a 7-stepped pyramid, it was later altered into an 8-stepped structure. The final phase of construction saw the steps filled out and an outer casing applied to achieve a smooth surface.
Remember, anybody now, we're in the future, the link in the Discord, if you ever wanted to just hop in and have your voice heard. You can find the story in many hot shows or movies. That's why I'm gonna make my movie, get my piece of the cake, or create my piece of the cake, so to speak.
The walls did not provide sufficient bonding, however.
All you need is the motif.
Did not rest on sound foundations. As a result, the bases of the 4 outer buttress walls gave way, causing the walls to slide down and collapse. While the Meidum Pyramid was abandoned due to design flaws, it showcased other innovations that would impact all future pyramid designs.
Oh, I wanted to watch that movie. I wanted to make sure I was right. The Monkey King. Monkey King came out 2014. Tells the story of how Sun rebels against the Jade Empire of Heaven. A war's raging on, a war going on in heaven. Make you a whole cake to share. Yeah, that's the terminology. Saying make a piece of a cake. Let's make a whole cake.
As well as the smooth sides, it was the first time a ceremonial pavement was built, leading from the valley to the temple of the pyramid. Another innovation was that of the funerary chamber, which was no longer at the bottom of a well, but rather above ground level. This change signaled
I'm gonna watch those. I'm gonna watch the Monkey King.
System.
Oh, I got a trophy. Polymorph. Monkey King, just new age. The way that he acts and moves, yeah. I can see that. But I remember watching, so I know exactly what you mean. But what's going on, Demon in Black? Demon in Black, what you repping, Saturn? Coming in the energy of Saturn today? What's going on? Synchronize. Slipped in a week. There we go. What's been going on? Been in another world? Or did you go so far out you just up? I've been like that before. I've been like that. Is it what you need? If fainting what you need, make sure you just got a glass of water. You'll be alright. You'll be just alright. Yeah, the sleep deprivation as well after 3 days. You don't need any plants. Oh, only after 30, 40 hours? Oh, wow. I remember David Blaine, he was staying up for a long time on that pole stick. And he was saying how he was seeing the faces in the buildings. Faces in the buildings. I have gone so far without sleep I can make my leg instantly fall asleep on command. They like making different parts of your body sleep at different times, like a fish. I think it's some animal that sleep with part of his body still awake. So that it's still alert. And it's just always like that. Testing need to study. Your ancestors come after that, being that sleep deprived. No, I think they can, and I think they really want to. That's why everybody's scared of their ancestors. They trying to stay asleep. I gotta get my sleep in. I'm feeling a little loony.
Welcome to the major regions of Egypt.
But yeah, what you studying? You said because I stepped. What's that? And when you sleep, it's for a few days of crazy dreams. Hyper vivid. That's probably like, we missed you.
Life in ancient Egypt was
Like when you don't get high for a long time and then you take a puff, you just lit.
Lower Egypt was situated on the Nile Delta near the Mediterranean, and Upper Egypt was at the south, reaching into Africa.
A whole week of testing different subjects going on.
To the Mediterranean,
I understand that.
temperatures in Lower Egypt were less extreme than in Upper Egypt.
Now, Lower Egypt was huge compared to Upper, but Upper seemed like it had more grass, at least right now.
Until 3100 BCE and the
Jason?
unification of Egypt, each region had its own pharaoh and crown. Lower Egypt's crown was red and marked with symbols of papyrus and bees. Upper Egypt's crown was white with symbols of lotus and sedge grass.
It's marked with papyrus and beads. They're with different crowns, upper and lower. But you said you seen Jason from Friday the 13th? I seen a Jason like figure in a dream, and I was seeing it as just something in my shadow self that I was running away from. So you know, Jason always running slow, but he always get to where he gotta go for some reason. I try some dream herbs out. Look them up. Ask them to wear masks. Play around with them. Be like, yo, how are you up in my room? The dream root, I know.
Regions had competing major cities.
Blue lotus, some of the lotus flowers that you can buy online.
There were different religious cults in both regions, each worshipping their own major gods.
So each city had its own major gods. And you know, it's like major gods, and I was just thinking, wait, it doesn't help that I had ADHD and DHD, so it makes you have insomnia. Yeah, I can't promote you. Yeah, I see that. Especially if you're not into a lot of cannabis culture and things like that. Insomnia will get you. So insomnia will get you. I think you just meditate with that, you'll be able to put yourself to sleep. Get calm enough to get yourself to a state where your mind is not just pondering. But this week though is just a test. It's just a week. It's just a week. Too. This too is going to pass. Oh, and it's with genetics. Oh. So your brain is just constantly breaking everything down to those chemical structures.
Many of the temples were designed in such a way as
But it's all for a greater gain. And yeah, lion's manes will help with being able to process all of that, I'm hearing. And like so that your computer don't get burned out. Start running at a higher processor rate. I haven't microdosed myself. I haven't any mushrooms since Easter, whenever Easter was. And I haven't microdosed since then, because I was microdosing before then. But for some reason, I haven't. I just gotta wake up one morning. Just do to do. Or when it calls, it calls. Probably waiting for me to do more than a microdose. I don't know. Can you swim? Yes, you can. You're not calling for me. Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm having fun. All these things are coming my way that I was talking about while I was microdosing, doing all this stuff. Like things actually coming my way a bit. Like literally. Yeah, I don't want no gods to be angry at me, or me being angry at my part of myself being angry at myself. I'm gonna sit right here and listen to his music while we chat. He said, Demon Black said, I had dreams where I saw a boat and I studied it down to the elemental structure, and it turns out that was the actual alchemical structure. Oh wow. And you say I call it installing the downloads. But you saw a boat, and when you studied the boat, you was actually studying the alchemical structure or something that you was studying. I heard of this story before. When it comes down to calculus, how calculus equations or something in that field come to people. And they'll be looking at something totally different. But you say you was looking at a boat, and how chemical structure came to you from studying the boat structure. That's cool. That's some next level stuff. I was like freaking Ant-Man. Yeah, I was just watching Ant-Man and Wasp, because I never watched the Ant-Man movies. I didn't really know who he was about. I just knew he went small in the quantum world. But that's how it is. Thank you, my kind sir, for that beautiful song. Thank you. He did a Alice. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, one side make you smaller, another side's gonna make you big. I was going all around. I was jumping. I'm chill with this guy. We're gonna have a chat. Hey, don't run. I'm just trying to chat, bro. I fell asleep while standing up before. So your body just jumping dimensions. But yeah, rest would probably do you something. I don't know, good or bad, but it probably do you something. But if this energy is keeping you good enough to do these tests and keeping you psyched up, then hey, c'est la vie. The cone heads. I had to see that movie again. I just remember it by just being extra funny. The aliens was coming down, they had the shapes of cones as heads. Be careful with the sleeping pills. They get addictive now. But if you took them before and you know what you're up to.
Welcome to Temples and Priests.
Oh, what I was saying about things literally coming back around and the downloads installing. I lost my 360 camera. I had a 360 Samsung camera last year after like a little mushroom trip, and I was making a video. Mary Jane is described by my doctor. Mary Jane is. They still can get you addicted, but just because the doctor gave it to you don't mean the addiction value of it goes down. The doctor probably keep writing more scripts for you so they can make more money. But yeah, I'm not trying to feed no doubt and stuff like that. If you need it, do what you gotta do. But as Psych said, Mary Jane, the best sleeping pill for me. That's what works for me. And Astro, heck yeah, me and psilocybin are lovers. But that's awesome. Do y'all thing. But what I was saying about the camera, I lost it after a little trip into the forest, and I was filming the video, and I was like, I'm gonna upload it. I lost all that footage, and I thought somebody stole it out my bag because I left it somewhere. And tell me how yesterday I was going with my daughter. I said, man, we gotta get out the house. I just had this need to like, yo, we gotta get out the house. We gotta do something. And I was like, we're gonna get some food. We're gonna ride around. I didn't know where we wanted to go. So I kept asking her, do you want to get pizza or tacos? She kept saying Chinese food. Then I got out of Chinese food and she kept saying tacos. And I asked her like 5 more times because I was like, I don't know if I really want to get tacos. I want to get some pizza because it's in another downtown area. But I decided to get tacos. And tell me how when we went to the taco truck, it was a lady looking me up and down. And what she said was, did you lose a Samsung GoPro cam a couple months ago? And I was like, yeah, I actually did. It was a 360 GoPro cam. And she was like, yeah, I was looking at your bike, and I was looking at you, I saw your daughter, and I was like, and she said, yo, yeah, I posted some picture, I found it on Facebook, I've been looking for you, and it's so cool that I ran into you now. So it's like, yo, those thoughts that I was just filling out and going with on a whim and checking in on my daughter, things that led me back to this camera that I lost. And True Life, the other synchronous, me and True Life were just talking about this on his live stream, because he do little 360 cameras, and I was telling him how I had one and I lost it, and now it's just back. It's back. Ramokinesis. I don't know exactly what that means, but the feeling exactly what's happening now. Like the thoughts, everything just conjured up till they're just coming back. Yeah, just coming back. And that's pretty dope. So I'm gonna have some 360 videos going on. And when I get a good enough computer, I really want to have it. Like the ideas that I have, I'm waiting for my technology to really to catch up with me. Like my editing skills are on par, but if I don't got what I'm working with, I'm able to produce what I got now. But with the 360 video, I want to have 360 green screen. So I want to be like, have myself put in whole other dimensions or just come up with all these cool stories.
From its foundation, the city of Memphis favored worship of the god Ta.
Yeah, you just roam the places.
The main temple of Ta was known
Ta.
as Hukata, meaning palace of the god of Ta. The name of the temple, translated into Greek as Egyptos, would eventually evolve into the modern name Egypt.
Bang. So that's how we get the name Egypt, guys. Later. Oh, got to go, GTG. Later, D-Man Black. Good luck while you're studying genetics. And if you find anything, man, or if you want to join the Discord and post, like, if you want to go in details about that boat story. I would like to hear more about that. That boat story, any other things that's going on that's helping you out with genetics. Because genetics is like tying into all this psychedelic stuff where we actually think we're going into. And the study of all of this just all ties together. But much love, and do your thing. Ta always, guys. Ta always. But yeah, what they were saying here what was getting my attention was the origin of the name Egypt. Psych 55 coming with the y'all ever had sex with shroom entities. Oh gosh. It's, I don't know, but let me get through this first real fast. From the name Memphis, the god Ptah known as Ptah. LOL, maybe. You're well divining my thoughts. The main temple of Ptah was known as Ptah, meaning place of the Ka of Ptah. Oh, so the temple is where the God. Oh, we had another dimension on this Thai show, where we all just understand. They tell me their sexual entity stories. I think UL tried more DMT than a little bit. The name of the temple translated as Greek. Oh wow. That's where they got it from. So Egypt means the house, the spirit of Ptah. Ptah. The spirit of the creator. That's what Egypt means. Stories. But I had so many stories to tell. There's like it is like something just overcomes you. For me, I felt like something just overcame, and it was like something kind of inviting too. After you reach a certain point.
Temples were the center of religious, political, and economic life in ancient Egypt. These sacred places were viewed as the literal home of the gods and goddesses. As such, every aspect of them required care and reverence, all of which was accomplished through elaborate ritual.
Oh, so the city was the actual god, and that's why they put so much care into everything. And look how much care we putting into Earth now, littering and shit. But yeah, in my own like kind of world, my thoughts do be like getting out there where it seems though it's something else interacting with my mind. It's something else interacting with my mindset.
Located in the center of Memphis, the Temple of Ptah was the most prominent and imposing building in the city. The long walkway leading toward the temple, known as the Dromos, was guarded by rows of sphinxes. The entire sacred area was designed to keep the statue of the god protected, deep within the sacred enclosures that surrounded it.
That's why I'm thinking about Philadelphia. In Philadelphia, it's a huge Benjamin Franklin statue in the middle of Center City, where there's also a zodiac. There's also a zodiac picture. I mean, a zodiac on the floor, and it's tied to what's in the sky. Like the north, it got 4 entries: north, south, east, west. Let me see if I can find it. City Hall, Philadelphia. I always want to meditate in there. Yeah, DMT also has these sexy ladies that just jump you or try merging for a time. Yeah, that's how I feel on shrooms. I felt that a lot. Like I said, It makes me think of how they were able to come out with these movies where they had people having sex with aliens and things like that. And other people like, why would you want to have sex with an alien? Or da da da. And those people that wrote those movies back then was like, because I have. Hey man, it's multi-dimensional love on this side. That's true love. Well, at least closer to true love. Zodiac. Oh, but what I was tying on about, they said the statue was kept real important because it was said that that's where the Ptah spirit was kept at, and that was kept the city in order and everything. Benjamin Franklin is on top. Of course, yeah, I was never able to find it. When you type it in on Google, it does not pop up. Like City Hall, Philadelphia, Zodiac Building. But yet, when I type in Ben Franklin statue, Center City, watch it come right up. Oh no, that's William Penn. It's he all the way on top of here. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's like that's in the middle of Philadelphia, what they call Center City, and they have a statue of Ben Franklin just sitting up there watching everything, just watching over the whole city. That's the story they tell. Let's see a little bit. That's the story they tell. You can Google it for yourselves if you want to see a clearer one. But these statues, I'm just telling you, these statues are not placed in places for no reason. Now I'm thinking about this Egyptian stuff. Because obelisks in Washington, D.C.
With the surrounding portico graced with columns carved to resemble palm trees. During special festivals, the general population was allowed to enter this location, but under no circumstances would they be allowed into the sacred spaces beyond the courtyard.
There go that division, controlling the masses. Y'all can get some of the knowledge, but not all of it. DMT flash, you get to another rim on dose over 20 milligrams. I had seen Kim just in greener times. And the only thing people on this side are going to say is, I wish you could take a picture. And that's what we always say, like, can we bring something back? But were you like floating in the sky or something like that? Like what was your place while you was there, if you could talk about that, or write a little sentence about it while you was in that flash, seeing a greener Egypt? I'm saving my first DMT till I'm way over. But how old are you? By your picture, I thought you was above all of us right now. But to each his own. Oh, that falcon is cool. There go Anubis with the scales. Oh, they won't let me go around that. I wish I could. I was in a boy. Oh gosh, perception is wild. That's why I don't make preconceived decisions. That's why I was just saying by your picture, I thought all this other stuff. 18, but hey man, I wish I would knew some people like this when I was 18. It seemed like I did in the other realms, but I was looking for them in this realm. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I find some mushrooms and they poop.
The Memphis Alabaster Sphinx was discovered in 1912 almost completely buried in water and sand. 8 meters in height and weighing in at roughly 90 tons, it is still mounted on its original pedestal. Though it is called the
Oops.
erosion has destroyed
No.
the original engravings, making it difficult to determine when it was created. Egyptologists believe that its facial likeness resembles Amenhotep II, and
Amenhotep.
so it could have been sculpted somewhere between 1700 and 1400 BCE. It is believed that this monument once stood outside of the Temple of Ptah and was integrated into subsequent extensions to the complex.
Gained so much knowledge from the whole Discord experience. Yeah. It's a whole, I'm glad you see it like that. It is an experience. Everything, seeing it like an experience, you getting it the way that it is going to get the best way right now.
The size of the imposing sculpture reflects the importance it had to the temple during the New Kingdom. This Sphinx is one of the few remaining artifacts from the ruins of Memphis to survive.
Says one time I'm in a place with one massive pyramid, wind blowing but sounds like it's talking. Oh, the wind talking? Alright. Yeah, anything. There's no bringing anything back. It is the beyond. The boom is breaking. The boom, it breaks into fractals flying at me. Just one pyramid? Was it like different colors, or was it just like a white color, just like white or something? The pyramid probably was a whole bunch.
In Egyptian culture, some animals were associated with gods, while others were considered to be living gods. The Apis bull was believed to be a divine entity. The earliest mention of the Apis bull in ancient Egypt goes back as far as the first Egyptian dynasty.
Just your living eyes. It's because that poop had mushrooms. Probably some other stuff too. But that looked cool. Just looking straight down that perspective. Mesmerizing. Like golden but reddish glow. They did the ones we created here. This said they had red granite on the inside. They probably tried to recreate that red glow or something. But you said we need another Just Laugh Now show. I keep thinking about that. Well, I was thinking about that. It was just promoting, like sometimes they would sneak in some stuff that I'd be like, oh my gosh, I ain't want that on the channel. Like some crazy meme or something like that. I just don't want to distract people too much. That's what was in my mind. Like I don't want to distract people too much, even though it was the Just Laugh Now show. We all gotta laugh. I gotta know all aspects of myself. So hey, yeah, I probably do one. I'm gonna make it something. Like that beam of light that follow you in game. Oh, I keep trying to explain the words. I don't know how. Man, I'm gonna be there once all this stuff come my way. I hope that I still do YouTube. I probably will though, but I don't know. I'm just willing to let anything go.
With the image of the sun carried between its horns.
At that point.
Later it was associated with Osiris, the ruler of the underworld, thus becoming the funerary divinity Osiris. During the 18th dynasty in Memphis, the Apis bull's association with the city's deity earned it the title Herald of Ptah. The Apis bull was so revered that even Alexander the Great, upon his arrival in Memphis, gave honor to Apis.
Yeah, I think if anything, Astro Way, just if you can, just get into art and then share that art. Just zone out.
With its harem in a sacred barn located in an enclosure in the Temple of Ptah. Each bull bore 29 signs representative of its divinity. Among them, the bull had an eagle-shaped mark on its back, a double tail hair, and a scarab-shaped mark under the tongue. The signs were intended to correspond with the lunar cycle. After its death, Egyptians would search for its reincarnated form among the livestock.
Oh, wow. Research for the reincarnated form amongst the livestock. So it wasn't even about the bloodline, it was about the spirit. Well, the soul, the animating principle, the Ka, as they would have put it. You know, so I think the ego can pass out, or you can alter it in some way, so you are just more than now. Yeah, definitely. And I think that happens more in more cases than one, and more incidences than one. And in some cases, I mean, where people don't realize what people are doing. I mean, where people don't realize what they're going through. I get more memories, like recalling I set this all up. Like this as the show and everything. Cause that's why it'd be hard for me to talk in like convos and stuff sometimes. Cause I'll be so ego dissolved that it feels though when I am picking up on something that is like, alright, this the character, or this the expression that I'm choosing to act on right now. And it's going to, and if I'm real comfortable around you, it'll switch up multiple times. But if I'm not, then it's just like this sometimes. But I was thinking that multiple people get into this stuff unknowingly. So like that's why they be all psyched up. Or like people would say, oh, they got a little screw loose in their head. They got a couple screw looses in their head. Because it just be happening just sometimes based off of life circumstances, trauma events, just waking events, head traumas. Or me, I ain't even have any like head traumas or physical traumas activated. It's just me being more curiouser and curiouser. And you said, yeah, grow curiouser and curiouser, and that unlocks things. That just unlocks more, so that you just get things. You just get things. And yeah, I heard you Psych 55 when you said Psych Substance. You can't watch his videos no more. It seemed like I watch him a lot more just because I've been watching him since it came out. But it was a while where I was upset with Psych Substance after I had a trip, because I was like, yo, all that stuff you was saying, I was just thinking about what you was saying about the trip. But I was cool. I ain't had all those worries, or I wasn't really feeling like how you was feeling. I was synthesis, whatever it was with you, because when I listen to people, I jump into their world. Like my mind channel is just open, so I feel like how they feel, and sometimes it feels like you confused where my lifestyle, what they saying, match up with what go on in my life, when really something else was actually happening. But I do appreciate it though, that extra third perspective or fourth perspective light on my life or whatever. But all in all, he was getting me confused up with how I was actually feeling about myself, because I was into it, his videos in another way, and the way he was presenting his worries through the channel. Like, yeah, man, I don't know, but that's just where he was going through at his time. That's what I respect him for. But it is something. But he said keep coming up as recommended, and I hit him up a couple times. He never responded either. That's my only beef.
It was given a luxurious funeral, which included mummification. Until the reign of Ramses II, the Amer's bulls were buried in individual graves in Saqqara. During the 26th dynasty, the bodies of the bulls were buried in enormous stone vats in the underground corridors of the Serapeum of Memphis.
So I always get his recommended video. I feel like psychedelics don't approach you when you're ready. For me, dealing with them for so long, I find that I can't even give them to people. They're not ready. I don't know if this makes sense, but no, it does make sense. It does make sense. My girlfriend still only had one mushroom trip, and she had the strong mushrooms that I'll be messing with. So those 2.5 grams that I gave her, I think that it was actually equivalent to like 5 grams or 4 grams of cubenzas. So ever since then, she ain't never do them again. She did a little microdose, but still, I always was like, yo, I was even thinking about my mom, and I was like, yo, when I go to Philly or do this, I want them to do this. But I felt as though all that pushing and all that thinking was just complicating things so much more. So much more. And so, Psych 55, you said when I was first dabbling in psychedelics, I would watch him frequently. Yeah, I was too. That's how I came up about it. And I liked his safety reports and the info went on it. Cause it wasn't that other videos on his production value was up to par. It was nice. It was nice. He kind of told me your brains are not right then before I could say anything. It was doing stuff. Yeah, I see that. I see that. That's what I was trying to achieve through communication with the Holy Guardian Angel and stuff. I thought that it was some other practice, magical practice on the other side, as well as these animes where they go to other worlds in order to get their training. And when they start off as humans, and then they get stuff unlocked and they just different. I think it really is your brain chemistry is changed. And another cool thing it tied into, but before I get into that, but yeah, I gave her 2.5. Cause I was like, at least it's not 4 or 5 grams. That was my thing. It's not 4 or 5 grams, so 2.5, this should be cool. But women, you gotta start low at 1G in my opinion. But I gave mine 1.5. I'm waiting for my mom. Like she need it. She tried all this other stuff during her life. It'll be perfect. Just gotta take the plunge. Just gotta take the plunge. When she come to Cali to visit me, she keeps saying, I don't understand why you keep saying when I come to Cali, things gonna be different. And I keep trying not to push it to her over the phone. Just keep saying, look out for the videos. And I tell her with mushrooms how they helped out for me. But when she get here, I really want to have a one-on-one, eye-to-eye talk. Eye-to-eye talk. But yeah, I think it's doing something to your brain. It's doing something to your brain that is cool. Brain say it's for pain or to rest. Yeah, cause she has lupus. So I wanted to give her some kratom as well, since that won't affect her mind. To give it to her, but yeah, it would really help. It would really help out, cause her mind is in 10 different places at once. She just like me. She was born December 9th. I was born December 8th. So we wrote some. I know her vibes.
Egyptians believed that temple rituals were essential to maintain order in the cosmos and allow communication between humans and gods. The pharaoh was required to bring offerings as part of a twofold promise made to the gods: to remain a just ruler and to prevent chaos from entering Egypt.
And prevent chaos from entering Egypt. We bring offerings. Order in the cosmos allow communication between humans and gods. Yeah, I think these rituals, that's why I put in the thing, the rituals is something so that when you're not ingesting the plant fully, it keeps you in communication, keeps your mind set up on divine thoughts. I say keep your thoughts on things of higher things. Like I think that's what rituals and things like this is good for. And we could create our own. I got my little own that I do from time to time, but on a daily basis, really. And that keeps my thoughts in line. It keeps it in check, so I know that every truth is but a half-truth. And you say you get reboot on 4ACMO with message. Oh, that's what I was thinking. That when we watch these videos and movies of vampires and vampire society or people that's into magic, don't they always seem like they part of like a high class society in their mind and they structural setting and everything? Yeah, setting is part of all of that ritual. Don't you know they always part of a high class society, or the way that they think is more complex? Like think of anime and things like that. Like the way that the magical beings that they have when we look up as a child is like, oh wow, that's cool. But when we look at other adults in our world that's not so magical, they don't think like that at all. And I was thinking, like, what if, and they say they go through lineage, I was thinking of True Blood and stuff like that, or just vampire societies where they said talk about the lineage, and your lineage mean you got stronger vampire powers or stronger powers and things like that. I was thinking, what if that lineage that's passing down is the brain genetics or the brain, something that was going on that they was worked on so that their lineage always has this connection to that other world more easier than other folks, than other muggles, as they say in Harry Potter world, than the muggles. And it all has to do with everything that we be talking about. That'll be dope. Just that.
Details of the ceremonies found on temple walls provide a thorough overview of the stages of the daily ritual. Performed 3 times a day to mirror human mealtimes, each step of the highly symbolic ceremony was accompanied by specific recitations, many of which referred to mythical events.
The Book of Node. The first vampires to remember their first nights, but do not speak of them. Others have heard tales, but know better than to believe them. The wise speak of the Book of Node, but none have seen this fabled book of ancient lore. By Sam Cup. Cup with a H. I've never seen that before. Cool. I just was. I got it up now. But I was real into vampires. I used to really believe I was a vampire. And my own, not like teeth and stuff, but my family used to say that I was the family vampire. I remember my cousin saying that. Aren't you a vampire or something? Don't you believe in vampires or some shit? It's my son's birthday, December 8th. And another one of my son's birthdays, December 9th. What you doing over here, Astro Way? What the? December 8th and 9th. So you know what that Sag energy looked like. You manifested it. Wow, that's too much of a sync. Hold the hell up. I just gotta take a picture for the history books. Can you explain why do you say every truth is but half truth? Only because I'm using language. And to cover myself, and to further into put more mystery into, and since I'm using words in order to put as much mystery into my words, saying every truth is but a half truth has you go to a corner, and then if you think that that corner is the destination, take a left corner through that wall. Take a left turn through that wall. Like, yeah, but this too.
The high priest would first awaken the sleeping god with a chant. Then the seals of the shrine's doors were broken.
So in this dimension, it's something in...
The act of swinging open the doors was a symbolic gesture.
But it can change over time.
The priest would then bow and kiss the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it just go to so many levels. And I adopted that from all the alchemy things that I was reading, but I adopted it to my own understanding in terms to keep me in the flow. Keep me in the flow. Something that is true changes the truth. It does get murky, because most of the times when I say every truth is but half truth, I'm thinking about things that is here. Even with behaviors too. But I mostly be thinking about things that is here. Like if this roach is in my hand, or if I take it away from the screen and say that I changed my hand, or say that I changed my hand and make some motion like I did it, and now like what hand is it in? Or wait, let me start it again. If I have this in my hand, I close it, you think you know where it is, but if I take my hands away and I wave my hands around and I put it back, you like, what hand is it in? A truth can be like, well, a truth in my past truth, it was in that hand, so it could still be in that hand, or a truth could be that he switched it up. And these all could be true because you saw my hand, my shoulders shift a little bit, so that is a truth because you saw my hands do that. But I forget where I was going with it. But if you open up this hand, it is true that is in this hand, but as well, it can be true that is in this hand. Or it could be true that it was never in this hand at all, but but it's in this hand at the same time. It's more. I can see why. I can't see why because I haven't been there myself, but I can kind of see why beings in the DMT realm would just be like presenting stuff to you, like just presenting stuff to you. I think I would really like to see that. I would really like to experience that. So something that is true can change over time and become not true, but the truth is never changing because it is the bedrock. It is the thing that is, I see it as the truth is the thing that is carrying through all of that. The truth is the thing that carries the picture. Yep. The truth would be whatever act usually happened. From all angles. From all angles. I would say it's the truth from all angles. That's why the villain, Superman, Batman, Joker, all of them speak the truth. All of them are speaking the truth at the same time, playing it out on one grand stage.
The god was then washed with incense-infused water, and its mouth rinsed with mineral salts. The cleansing was followed by adorning the statue with jewels and royal garments. The final ritual required the priest to sweep away any footprints in order to prevent evil from approaching the god.
The footprints sweeping away from approaching the gods. Like, this is sacred space. That would actually be whatever actually happened. Yeah, the cat in the box. Like, you put a cat in the box, is the cat in the box? Or is the cat not appear in the box till you open it? Or shake it? Or is that sound not a cat, just something making the sound of a cat?
At the top of the temple hierarchy was the high priest. Each temple dedicated to a god had at least one high priest devoted to its care and service. During the Ptolemaic dynasty, one family held the position of high priest in Memphis.
I know you get it.
300.
Oh, I bet I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid. That's cool. There we go. Hey there, baby girl. Oh, you planted a flower? It's nice.
We put seeds on it at school too.
What kind of seed?
A flower seed.
What kind of flower?
I don't know. Because they didn't read the flower. And we need to water it at home.
Okay. Make sure you water it. And put it out in the front yard.
What is that? That means we get to put it in the house.
Okay. That sounds cool. I'm about to come out there pretty soon. Why they take this guy's head off? Astro Boy said, then I will say that there is duality, so all things are equal truth. Yep. JUSt TAi, folks. I want people to see it. No, this is something she painted. Gonna grow a flower.
Yeah. Another way too.
Let's put your name this way. Alright. Here, go get some water for it. That dirt is drier than my throat right now. The truth always seems to supersede, or the truth is the foundation that everything stands on, so it never changes. It's always true.
High priest candidates made their way up the ranks of the temple hierarchy. Chosen to occupy the lofty position of high priest was usually confirmed by the pharaoh. Several of the high priests were also important officials in the government. Families sharing the highest priesthood titles tended to make many alliances, thereby gaining more land and wealth. Shifting balances of power sometimes resulted in more or less open conflicts between the priesthood and the pharaohs.
Yeah, it's something about the priesthood. And before Psychedelics, I always felt like I came from like a priest class or something like that of people. You know, now I just feel like I was everybody. In terms of me throughout time or something, my awareness of it, it seems as though I was like some kind of priest, or I was just real connected to this stuff already.
In the 21st dynasty, Thebes became the capital of an almost entirely
Just thinking,
democratic
just
government.
tying.
The city was headed by king priests who spoke and governed in the name of the god Amun, in open opposition to the ruling pharaohs. These king priests caused a massive decentralization of power, known as the Third Intermediate Period.
Oh, the invisible floor. You just reminded me of A Wrinkle in Time. In A Wrinkle in Time in the movie where he finally found the it. Well, Megan. Oh, did I call her? Yeah, it is Megan. Megan finally finds her dad, and the guy's trying to trip him out. I mean, trying to get, confuse her. And she starts using her math and stuff like that they put in the movie. But she started finding an invisible floor that she was able to walk on in order to find her dad that was locked in this so-called invisible room. But it was something formulating in her mind that allowed her to calculate where that floor, that invisible steps and stuff was at. But they says when it was a priest class, this is something to tie about. When it's a priest class coming about, the decentralization of just the kings and the pharaohs, or so-called running everything, goes down a bit. And you know, these psychedelics, they turning us into kind of this priest class, into dealing and preparing our minds and stuff for these realms by making us experiencing it and going from there. Some say it maintains, others say it deepens. But yeah, these priest class, the priests and everything. So now when more of us coming out, the kings and everything, like y'all know, they not going to feel as though they can have all that power and stuff anymore. I just thinking about the 60s and stuff when everybody was getting a clue to who they was. The powers that be was like, yo, nah. And I think as they know, they got something. I mean, as well as the priest class, I really do hear that.
The educational institution in ancient Egypt was known as the House of Life. Attended by the offspring of the elite and the clergy, it was a place tailored to the social status of its attendees. The earliest references to this type of institution date back to royal decrees of the Old Kingdom.
Yeah, that's why they always had their council. And the king always had to go to somebody for advice. That person for advice wasn't going to somebody else for advice. They was the source.
Only 2 known centers have been uncovered. One in the abandoned city of Akhenaten, and one at the temple of Ramses II on the west bank of Thebes. Inscriptions uncovered in those locations mention the names and titles of people who were connected with the House of Life, such as a chief physician and many scribes. It is presumed that by the late kingdom, every temple had a House of Life.
Yeah, like it's no small thing to be a writer. It's no small thing to be a musician. It's no small thing to be a poet. It's no small thing to be dealing with these psychedelics and going to these realms the way that we are now. We all hide in a closet. We gotta come out. Oh, my bad, guys. Oh, sorry. Oh. I'm disrespectful. But, what was I saying? I just disrupted myself so much. But, I was on to something. That's what I be doing to myself. Stop taking yourself so seriously. All them voice playing ideas in my head playing themselves out at once. I have no clue.
Only 2 known centers have been uncovered. One in the abandoned city of Akhenaten, and one at the temple of Ramses II on the west bank of Thebes.
Oh yeah, it's no small thing to be a scribe or anything like that, because the force that it comes from is just us is people like us interpreting a field in a way that most people are not connected to, or that's why most poems are like long. And I see songs sometimes when they be talking about a girl or a woman and stuff like that, that they really talking like, say, about the Amina or the women from the other side calling to you. And it's like saying, oh, you gave yourself up to the world, and people saying it's longing and all this stuff, and I give up anything to be with you. I think that's all got something to do with what goes on within the self more than looking for the outward bound. Oh, what I just do? Outward bound, like the story of the princess waiting for the prince to come and save her and things like that. How that's all just a story what's going on the inside of us. And it take movies like Shrek to finally get us to another dimension on how to deal with that circumstance. Shrek is a real cool movie. But I was just saying that back then the scribes and all of them, the writers, yeah, it does take a movie like Shrek. I've seen Shrek over 200 times. I'm probably even lying about that because it's probably even way more. No lie. I watch it for fun. But what I was saying, that the scribes and stuff were real respected by back then because of their connection compared to the everyday average person to be able to write this stuff. Plus they kept it away back then, so people didn't even get to, everybody didn't get to try to learn to read or write, which is still like it is today. They don't want everybody trying to learn to read or write, so they can't be their own scribes and writers and all that stuff.
Not limited to instruction for young students, the House of Life was a source of reference
House of
for
Life.
scholars, with rooms dedicated to papyri of many disciplines. Because papyri were preserved there, the Greco-Romans referred to the House of Life as a library.
I think eventually I might actually play through this storyline again, so y'all can see how they present all of the statues in the storyline. But it's also this game that I want to buy called The Everything, and it's voiced by Alan Watts. I'm trying to get the things right situated so I can be able to purchase it eventually, but it's a game called Everything. It's a PSN game. It's part of the PlayStation Network, so you can't buy the disc. But it has you be in the perspective of like everything, so to speak. They say, I forget how the trailer is, but you know how it is in Psychedelics. It's a trippy game, and it's narrated by Alan Watts. So I want to play that game live with y'all. Have that kind of experience going on. I just taking a look at these huge columns.
Ancient Egyptian economy was based on an unequal system of redistribution of goods.
Yep, unequal. By the time the Romans got there, at
and
least.
The temples distributed them throughout the provinces. Since the only people capable of counting and ensuring a fair redistribution were the educated scribes, this meant that
I just said this.
played a pivotal role in this process.
How was just describing this? Gotta know how to read and write. And this game takes a lot to... Oh, I can tilt the camera. Make a music video. What you doing to bring in paper magic right now? Right now, I've been... It started a little rough, but it's getting better talking to you guys. Alright, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. Right now, the opportunity is so kind of like complicated. Well, not complicated if I just describe it. But, I'm like a full-time dad, you could say that. I'm a full-time dad. I take my daughter to all the places. Make sure everything is cool here at the house. And since right now we have things situated with Section 8, is not that big of a toll on the partner, so I'm able to have little activities like this where I've been trying to take off for the while so it could be a main thing, but through the ins and outs and my own inner journeys, it hasn't manifested like that yet. But I started walking dogs recently, and I'm gonna start cleaning these old ladies' houses. That's just 2 apartment complexes over. That just started about 2 weeks ago. So that's been kicking up the gears. That's how I was able to buy this PlayStation camera, so I can go live with the PlayStation camera. I said, oh, I'm getting this. But there's so many times where thoughts where I would get upset. Cause it seems like when I get upset, I'd be like, man, I'm about to go to McDonald's. I'm about to just go get a job at McDonald's. And then when I look around, I don't ask for anything. Like I don't ask for stuff. I just create things. So, me trying to create this job. Yeah, I'm setting time for them books. I'm gonna have a real story to tell. That's what the back voice of my thing is telling. Like now you actually have a real story. An actual, not real, we all got real stories, but you have a story that's not cut from the mold, just straight cut mold. Got random gigs going on. I'm a millennial. The old people act like, yo, how are you surviving? Like, it's a lot of ins and outs to life, and it's gonna get grander and grander. I just don't ever want to push on with life through anger. That's why I'm letting everything come to me through things that I create, manifest, and with the books that I create. I'm on the third one now. But it's all coming together. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's been 3 hours, bros. Sis, tires? But yeah, it was just something in my mind too. That's why I said these books is going to come about. Everything that I know in my mind is going to come about. Because it's a huge blockage in my mind. And I've always been that person that had, I don't feel like defending myself. I'm cool. Well, yeah, you're always fight. We fight the wave like surfing 1,000 times. You can make your ripples into wave if you keep going. That's the thing. Yeah, I always stopped a lot of things. I always stop, man. Now this is the energy right now that's just going, and it's coming from me not doing it totally by myself, but by connecting with, putting myself out there, not holding it all in. It's like all the contradictions in my mind want to satisfy itself. Like, how can you say this and live like this if you really feel like this? If this is how you really feel, and how can you continue to live this sort of lifestyle? And it's like my mind and even my world view, even the circumstance in my life won't allow myself to go back to ways that set up when I get so-called upset, or ways that it's been already set up for me to do. Like, yeah, just go do this and go do this, sign up for that, you'll be okay, they'll take care of you here, you get the benefits and all of that stuff. Like, I don't know, it's probably all gonna come like that, but just it's gonna come in a totally different way. I do know it's gonna come in a totally different way, in my way. And it was gonna be like this when I was younger through rapping. That's when I first developed this. Like I was saying, I'm gonna be a rapper. I was learning how to do things on your own, create the t-shirt business, do merchandising, have a slogan, do all that stuff. But then the rapping wasn't it. I had something else I wanted to do. Still wanted to use a mantra. I'm lucky times to keep upset mantra out. Yeah, and going out and getting fresh air too. But yeah, I'm gonna come up in the book. I'm gonna write down some mantras. Use inner rap. That's what I do. That's what I do. Like, no, I'm a boss of this. I'm the boss of this. I'm not just a character. Because then they become like, oh, I want this now, I want this now. Oh, you want this now? That means you're going to have to go out and do this now. You're going to have to sell yourself and do this now. But when I'm chilling, I'll be finding out I be having so much stuff that I forgot about. Or didn't even, like, forgot about or didn't know that I can use in that way. Like with this PlayStation and streaming and stuff. I had this PlayStation for about almost a year and a half now. And now I just now started streaming. Camera only $45. Like, it just wasn't part of my realm of reality at the time. It really wasn't. And then it just bang came like that. I was like, what is that symbol? I never seen that symbol before. Thought it was a man on his knees. Like the mushroom saying you have everything that you need right now. Why do I not believe that? Well, why is it so hard to believe that? Well, I know why nowadays, but those are the questions that be popping up. Hey, let's worship. Wait, who is this? Oh, I know he did this. Who is this? She really saying something. I don't think they made her just made her say random words. Chibuti. Who is this? They can't tell me. And plus what I was saying, this all setting me up to be good, is that my dream is to like be able to homeschool my daughter. I want to be able to homeschool her. And the place where I moved to has a huge homeschooling community. A huge homeschooling community. So I said everything's really working itself out. It just all takes for everything to like be the right time. Just timing.
Did you read the email?
No.
Oh, they just sent me an email.
Who?
The homeschool.
Oh, wow. Yo, guess what, guys? Let me see this. Well, it was 2 hours ago, but I didn't get the email, and the lady just showed me. I was talking about homeschooling. They just sent us an email talking about the homeschooling program. Yo, that's cool. We just got the email for her. Got her name in there. She qualifies for kindergarten grade. So when I say things work itself out, guys, much love to you. We offer 2 school treks. Which trek do you prefer? August 20th or September 4th? No, let her start September. Let her have her summer. Let her have her summer. And this is live. This is live, guys, in the future. I know you all know this live. No cuts. It's real magic. Real magic, guys. Like, I want to cry. Well, the mushy show you all came freely to man. All man-made is that they merge nature in ways not always in harmony, but we can do better. Yes, the hell we can. To hell we can. Because the Christian said we couldn't go to hell. That hell was a bad place. But that's where I found myself. He's back. He's back with no nap. No time to relax. Thanks for coming by. We just hitting the 3-hour mark. I want to know if I can go to the other part of this game, since I did all that touring around. I heard you were talking about hell. I was just saying, find yourself in hell. Even in the Bible, for those people out there, Jesus went to hell, and that's where they say he got the keys to the gates of heaven and brought them back. There's a lot of truth in there. That's where I felt I was at. Now, hell is in being tortured, continuously tortured because you made the wrong decisions forever and ever. I think that's a sentence that you put on yourself. Like forever and ever? Even the Muslims believe only hell is temporary. I was so shocked when I heard that growing up. The deep parts in the last ring is the door to heaven. Yeah, keep going deeper and deeper. Cross the abyss. Cross the abyss. Meet Crozone. I forget his name. He's like one of the... I forget his name. I remember when I felt like I was encountering him a lot. And he was like a gatekeeper. I'm sure I can look that up. Crozone... I don't know. Oh, Coronzone is a demon or devil that originated in occultist Edward Kelly and John Dee. And what about the Taco Tuesdays?